So I'm a kid of the 80s, and it's my all-time favorite decade. It's near and dear to my heart. It just makes me smile. What can I say? What a charismatic, fun, colorful decade to grow up in. I'm blessed and grateful that I had the opportunity to be an 80s kid. Now, I feel like a little bit of a piece of my heart was ripped out for good this week. 3 of the all-time iconic 80s legends passed away. And as the old saying goes, unfortunately, it held true when it comes to celebrity deaths, they happen in threes. Take a look at this picture here. A nice tribute to the 3 gentlemen who died this week. Start with the man in the middle. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, age 54, passed away on vacation in Costa Rica. Here on this beach, he drowned in the surf. Now, Ozzy Osbourne was suffering from a rare form of Parkinson's disease. He died in England at age 76. And Hulk Hogan, just yesterday at the age of 71, closer to home, outside of Tampa in his hometown of Clearwater, Florida. He had been suffering from a heart condition. He passed away at the age of 71. Now, all 3 were versatile talents and accomplished so many things in so many different fields. And I had the chance to meet one of these 3, and I want to talk about it right now as I kick it off and talk about all 3 gentlemen and the lives they had and pay a little bit of a tribute here on the Red Dawn Media channel. Please do go ahead, like, subscribe, share links to the videos, leave comments. Hopefully they're good ones. But I do thank you so much for your support. Now, Hulk Hogan, I had a chance to meet him a couple times when I was a teenager. Why? Because the WWF, that was what it was formerly known, now it's the WWE. It's always been headquartered in my hometown, Stamford, Connecticut, where I grew up as a teenager and went to high school. And circa 1986, I went to summer camp, day camp here, Long Ridge Camp. Now, Hulk had a deal where once a week he'd show up to the camp right before the buses, and the parents showed up to pick up a special needs kid. I was a teenager. It was a younger kid. Now, Hulk would show up with an old school Corvette, and he somehow managed to fit that 6'7", 300-pound frame in the car. And of course, we would see that Corvette pull up, and all the kids would just pour out. Hulk would come out, and there wasn't a kid he wouldn't say hi to. Tossing kids up in the air, hey, little Hulkamaniac, shaking hands, signing autographs. This was before we had these, right, the cell phone, so it wasn't really an opportunity to take pictures on the fly. But he would make sure he was able to reach every kid he could before the buses and all the parents showed up, and before the counselors, the administrators at the camp would kind of shuffle all the kids away so they can get everyone home. But there was that little window where, as a kid, you saw this monster, this behemoth of a man and this celebrity just be a regular dude, and he was a big kid, and he was nice as could be, and just a class act. Of course, he was a pioneer of wrestling, the face of the WWE, a champion multiple times in the 1980s, went on to have such success post-wrestling and movies, did a reality show. There you see it with his family, and just had an interesting life, a charismatic figure until the end. In fact, at the RNC, there you see him talking last year. He was one of the most electric, if not the most electric speakers, and talking up Donald J. Trump in his return to the White House about a year ago. Hulk will be remembered for being a Hall of Fame wrestler and much more. And also, interestingly enough, he was an accomplished musician, like those other 2 gentlemen. The second of which I'm going to talk about right now, and that's Ozzy Osbourne. Hulk broke into wrestling as a rocker before he got to start into wrestling. Now, Ozzy Osbourne broke into fame and celebrity as a rocker. more so the pioneer. They called him the godfather of heavy metal. Really got the genre off the ground with Black Sabbath. They also called him the Prince of Darkness. He was the epitome of the drugged out, drunk rock star. He really did create the stereotype in more ways than one. And of course, he was a pioneer. Talk about Hulk's reality show. Well, it would have never gotten off the ground if Ozzy didn't get his off first. Ozzy got things going with his reality show, The Osbournes. And I remember watching The Osbournes on flights when I used to work back on the East Coast and I was going out to California quite often. I would somehow kind of get zoned in and do a marathon of The Osbournes. And it was the only time I ever watched it was on the airplane, but what a laugh it was. Just seeing Ozzy on his day-to-day trials and tribulations and what a character he was, trying to live like an everyday Joe in so many ways here in the United States with Sharon and the family. What an amazing life Ozzy had. And you know what? Like I shared my memory of meeting Hulk Hogan, I think the first thing that sticks out to me, now I had a chance to see Ozzy. I was thinking about this. I don't even remember seeing him, but I saw him play at the festival that he headlined. This is 97, I want to say, the Ozfest. Like I said, I do not remember it. I was having a good time, indulging in some of the party treats that Ozzy was known for indulging in, but that's neither here or there. But I did see him play. I can say that. I saw Hulk Hogan wrestle, by the way, in Nassau Coliseum back in the summer of 1983 with Rowdy Roddy Piper. But Ozzy was just an absolute legend. On the Walk of Fame, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But my point here, perhaps the mitzvah, as we call it in my tribe, that means doing a good deed that Ozzy makes, that I think of Ozzy right away. The thing he did that I think of first was the support and the never-ending support he had for Israel. He wasn't afraid that when the whole BDS thing came up and everyone was trashing and boycotting Israel, Ozzy went there and performed twice. When October 7th, see that paragraph right there? That's from an article. And Sharon, his wife, shares that quote there. When October 7th happened, he couldn't believe it. Never understood, I don't understand it either, the hatred and anti-Semitism for the Jews. So Ozzy, a mensch, rest in peace. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, my connection, I would say, to Malcolm-Jamal Warner was, well, he was like me. He was just about my age. We grew up in the same time. We grew up together, me in real life, him on TV. He dressed like me. His room, a lot messier than mine. I'm going to show you a clip of the Cosby Show in a minute. But it's funny, when I was looking for a clip of the show, the first one I happened to find when I was looking, I was remembering his room, was of his messy room. But you'll see in the clip, he had the New York Giants banner that I had. He went through a lot of the same problems I did. I was never the best student. Sometimes the effort was there, sometimes it wasn't. I feel like Theo Huxtable had a case of ADD that I had before it was even documented or defined or classified in the 80s, right? You just kind of had lapses in attention. And you were a little bit all over the place, but you had a good heart. And I always felt like I can relate with Theo in real time. He just seemed like a good kid. He seemed like the kind of kid I would be friends with on and off of TV. And of course, at that time in the 80s, it felt like everyone grew up with Bill Cosby and the Huxtables. Take a look and listen.
Theo?
Yo.
Hard to get good help, isn't it? Son, your mother asked me to come up here and kill you.
Hey, I know.
You know what?
What you gonna say? and it's under control. So,
No problem. Right. How do you expect to get into college with grades like this?
No problem.
Huh?
See, I'm not going to college.
Damn right.
I am going to get through high school and then get a job like regular people.
Regular people?
Yeah, you know, work in the gas station, drive a bus, something like that.
So what you're saying is your mother and I shouldn't care if you get D's because you don't need good grades to be regular people.
Right.
And there you have it again. Bill Cosby, for all the craziness with Bill Cosby when he was still beloved. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner, a.k.a. Theo Huxtable. Just the chemistry those two had. A little side note, I was reading this week that Bill Cosby handpicked Malcolm-Jamal Warner after they auditioned hundreds of kids, you know, over a month-long period. On the last day of auditions, like one of the last auditionees was Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And Bill Cosby was like, that's it. Dismiss everyone else. This is the guy. This is the kid. We found him. And talk about intuition. He knew what he was doing. He made the right call because Theo was as big a part of that show as any of the actors were in the Huxtable family. Now, post-career, he was also successful. He was nominated for Emmys in the Cosbys, but he went on to win a couple of Grammys in music. He won a Grammy doing religious music, and he also produced another hit. And he had an outstanding career, just like Ozzy, just like Hulk Hogan. Again, all three seemed like they were great guys. Gone too soon. May they rest in peace. And like Maximus said in the movie Gladiator, what you do in life echoes in eternity. And all three of these guys will be remembered forever.